Gospels. If we are to understand the historical Jesus, then we need to start at the beginning and recognize that Jesus had a mission connected to the Old Testament narratives, which in turn occurred on the stage of a very specific landscape that played a great role in the narratives and the way in which they were recorded. Modern listeners who think of the Gospels as self-contained histories of Jesus do not ask the significant contextual questions that have massive implications for interpreting the Gospels. For instance, the writings of the Old Testament are written in Hebrew, with some Aramaic, but the Gospels are written in Greek. Why is that? God's people in the Old Testament are called Israelites, but in the Gospels they are called Jews. Is that change significant? In the Old Testament, the Israelites have a kingdom with political borders. In the Gospels, the Jews live scattered throughout the Roman Empire. So, what did concepts of the kingdom of God mean for the Jewish people who did not have a kingdom? The Old Testament focuses on the temple in Jerusalem, but the Gospels mention synagogues. Where did synagogues come from, and what is their relationship with the temple? The Judaism represented in the New Testament is not the same as the Israelite religion in the Old Testament. But how is it different, and why did it evolve? The Gospels also mention people such as the Herodians, Pharisees, and Sadducees. Who are these people? And how are they different from the crowds of people who followed Jesus? These are all important contextual questions to ask before diving into the life and teachings of Jesus. Misunderstanding context, Eastern versus Western mindset. One challenge for Western Christians when reading the Gospels is coming to the realization that the way we perceive the world is quite different from how first-century Jews saw it. To specifically engage this issue, I like to take students into a shop in the old city of Jerusalem to talk with Dove and Moshe Kempinski. They are Orthodox Jewish brothers who offer a hospitable place in which to engage Christian-Jewish dialogue. When explaining the difference of perspective between the Western visitors in their shop and the Eastern worldview of the locals, Moshe tells groups that there are no 30-year-old Jews, nor are there 30-year-old Palestinians. And then he pauses. Inevitably, a look of confusion washes over everyone's face as they think through their day and all the people they saw. Of course there are 30-year-olds in the city. Moshe then continues. They are all 3,000 years old. In a simple sentence, Moshe captures a significant difference between Western and Eastern mindsets. The Western mindset evolved from Greco-Roman abstract concepts of philosophy and data in which emotions are separated from the individual. Children are taught to be independent thinkers and true to themselves without being influenced by a group. An individual is told they can make anything of themselves, regardless of their context or background. People with a Western mindset face the future as the great unknown into which they are eager to run. They do not want to be hindered or held back by the past. A Western mindset states that the belief of what is right and wrong is internally cultivated. Choices are for the individual alone to make. Therefore, people with a Western mindset analyze Jesus' teachings for a linear set of logical data points. Jesus died and rose again for the individual, and the individual's belief in Jesus is a private decision. An Eastern mindset is concerned with relationships, networks, and narratives. For them, true theology is embodied in actions and not in abstract ideas. Collectivism is prioritized, which means value is placed on family and community over the individual. People with an Eastern mindset will face the past, which is known, and walk backward into the future, which is unknown. They understand that their history and family connections got them to where they are in the present, and they bring their whole past into conversations about the present. Children are taught to avoid shame and maintain honor for the sake of the whole family, whose reputation is more important than the individual's. For those with an Eastern mindset, there are no such things as the Western concepts of rugged individualism or private Christianity. This is why many of Jesus' actions and words